I'm the only one with the fan. Wonderful. I love that for me. I love that the host is the only one with the fan. This feels correct. Uh,
Yes.
yeah. Hola, 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 and welcome to the Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in ESC. You can always come for us to quench your thirst. I'm Eduardo, the Mexican representative of this podcast. I'm here. Thank you for changing the logo. uh, I'm Eduardo, the Mexican representative of this podcast. I am here to talk shit and get hit. I just finished my coffee, so therefore I have nothing to drink, but I am really excited to be talking about Jesk. Jesk, the final of Jesk. Uh, yeah, I have thoughts on it, and I'm super happy that there's three of us talking about it. Yay!
Um, First of all, I've just realized we're using the down under background. So let's just Logan, you saw nothing. Hi, I am I am Lewis. I'm your favorite Brit here to get lit. I'm excited to talk about a show I have opinions on. Nothing to do with the children, more to do with the production team.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Um,
yes.
it was definitely it was definitely it was definitely a Eurovision.
It was a show that happened.
It was a show that happened, and um, I'm very excited by the outcome, and we'll get onto that.
I bet you are.
안녕하세요, 사입니다. Mabuhay. Ako si Sam. Bonjour, je m'appelle Sam. Also known as Aneesa, also known as Sam DMV. There we go. From Toronto, Canada. Scarborough? Woburn, Canada. There we go.
I love that you don't know which part of Canada you're at.
It's a bit Eduardo. I'm trying to change it up a bit.
I also hope that moving forward you just keep saying like hello in as many different languages as you possibly can. Like I hope that you can do one for every single country. Like do 17
Ooh,
ways of
okay.
saying hello.
That's a shout. That's a shout. Okay.
But we will do that eventually. But right now we can't talk. We can't do that. We have to talk about the Junior Eurovision final. But before we do that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, leave the likes. We also have all of our links down below. You can listen to us like on the go to our audios. All of our social media links are going to be down there in the description as well. And you can also get your merch. We don't have merch here. I think none of us have it with us. So wait, Aneesa has it. Aneesa has it. Aneesa,
Oh,
you can get your cup merch down
yeah.
below, like this cup bottle or a cup cup.
Cup mug.
Your
Cup
cup
mug.
mug or a shirt or whatever you want. There's a lot of merch
Yeah,
there.
many different variations of cups on the merch.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get it down below at languagescreations.etsy.com. And you can also follow us on Patreon. We will be working on some stuff over there, hopefully soon. So please follow us there. Anyways, let's get this started with. Let's get our thoughts. Should we start with the negatives so that we finish with the positives? Should we start with the criticisms?
Yeah, sure.
Should we just start with the insane amounts of AI that were used against these children?
My superhero Rob's back.
That like I get it because obviously it's kind of been like the year of AI or so.
But that doesn't mean that.
But like
good.
I didn't like it.
AI is the perfect example of just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, there's people who are specifically trained for this kind of stuff. So like graphical content, editing, like video content. There's people who are paid to do this. And they have trained professionally to do this. So if you're not reaching out to those people and you're just relying on computer whatever, just like this is what I want on ChatGPT, just like create this and this, like that irritates me because that's so many people out of a job that they could have had and it would have looked 10 times better.
I agree. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
it's really bothersome that like not only with the jobs of like you're not really like taking like you're not giving jobs to people that are like would help you make this show better. You're just taking the easy way out, but you're also using AI against children, and these children like once you use AI, especially for pictures, your image is gonna be in those like archives forever, and then there might be used against you moving forward. So it is really terrifying that they used it with children. Like it's there's already like an entire conversation about how like Junior Eurovision might or might not be like an exploitation of children because like all of these shows with children singing, it's a whole conversation that can be had, and it is a valid conversation to have. But this use of AI for me is the most egregious version of that. Like it feels wrong. It feels gross. And the entire time I was watching, I felt uncomfortable watching these children be used for AI. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, I didn't like it. Like you had the children there. You could film them like doing other stuff. Like you had the time to film and to fill those gaps of the postcard with other clips. However, you decided not to do that and to use AI. And it was just really weird. And the entire show just felt like an AI generated mess. And it was just
Yeah,
not good. It was just not good.
yeah. I think the one word that stands out to me, that I would say to like recap the show last night or yesterday was rushed. Everything felt
Mhm.
rushed.
Yeah, I mean the leaderboard literally broke. Like that
Leader
shouldn't happen.
broke. Um, the leaderboard's an interesting one. Can we move on to that? Or
Yeah, we can move
yeah,
on to
let's
the
move on to
leaderboard
the
because I
leaderboard.
also didn't like that.
I
Um,
Yeah, a lot. I was going into the show. I had read about like thoughts on the jury show
Mhm.
and how they were going to show that leaderboard. Yeah, very much one and the same of like, oh, I don't know how to feel about this. This is a bit weird.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I I like it on the standpoint of I feel like for Junior it de-stresses the whole thing. I don't know. I feel like the way
Mm,
they did it was a lot less. I don't know what the word is. If I was one of the contestants, I would have found that a lot less. Okay, I say distresses. Obviously, they were still stressed,
Mhm.
and I hate that photo that's circulating online of the Spanish entry. I forget their name. I apologize. Chloe
Mhm.
um crying in the green room. First of all, taking photos of children crying is creepy as
It's
fuck.
yeah, it's so weird.
So weird. Um, but I still feel like that. I would like to think that production saw it from a standpoint of if we do it this way, it will make it a lot less tense and um, I don't know. Uh,
Well,
Can you
I,
see where I'm coming from?
I
I
can see it. However, like I don't fully agree because
Okay.
I'm just
Mhm,
speaking from my point of view. Like if I were a contestant in this situation, I feel like I would have felt the same amount of stress if I was getting my points one way or the other. Like my
mhm,
stress levels would have been exactly the same. So it's not like it's de-stressing me. In fact, I feel like I would have been so lost with this
Mhm.
leaderboard because I myself, as an adult, as a 22-year-old person, I was like, what is going on here? I felt like that meme, like of that lady screaming at the leaderboard, I can't freaking see anything. That's how I felt. That's how I felt. I was like the entire time I was like this, trying to figure out who was winning, and I was utterly confused because
I
I was having a
sorry.
really rough time. I was having a really rough time like
Yeah,
understanding who was at like in what positioning because they also weren't moving like the people around for like they do with normal Eurovision. So I
Oh
was
yeah, that's true.
yeah. I think
confused.
well, I think that's why did the whole like bar graph thing. But also I think with that, like it was nice that they had like they highlighted the bar that was in the lead.
Yeah, that's the only thing that they did somewhat correct in that situation. But
Right.
the problem is that like there came a point in which like second and third place were like 5 or 6 points apart, and so the bar looked about the same like
They
height, and
they
so I
they
was
should
having a
have
really rough time.
they should have switched the cons around based on placements.
Yeah, because
I
like
Yeah.
I
also
was having a
yeah.
really rough time between like, oh, is Ukraine, does Ukraine have more points than Portugal, or like does what is going on here? Like I was really
Right.
confused.
hmm Um, I was gonna say as well. I feel like doing the layout they did also is especially since they're giving out the 12 points the traditional way.
Mhm.
I feel like takes up a lot more time,
I agree.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
which probably is why that portion of the show kind of also felt very rushed.
Mhm. Yeah,
I don't know if they intended that, but that's what it seemed like to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I was like, this is just gonna take twice as long as it normally would,
hmm
because you're still gonna have the spokesperson come up and say like, "Oh, hello everybody! Like, I am here in Portugal. I am so happy about this show. Anyways, our 12 points go to Georgia or whatever." And
Yeah.
so you could have just had the same leaderboard that we had and had the same thing happen. Like, I don't. It felt overly complicated. Like I felt like we were like trying to reinvent the wheel, but we were making the wheel square, and so therefore it wasn't really working
Mm,
as well as it normally does.
Uh-huh.
Like there
mhm.
were a lot of clanking things, and
Yeah.
like it just didn't run as smoothly as I wanted it to.
Yeah. I also feel like they could have gauged out like the whole bar thing a bit better. I don't know
Hmm.
how, but because also, like as we saw, like spoiler alert, but like the winner of the jury, their like bar kind of covered the points they had.
Yeah, it's broke. It fully broke, and like I just I don't get it how that happened. How did we get into a situation in which the leaderboard breaks because you weren't prepared for this situation? Like I thought that the bar was filling up according to like if you got all the 12 points, that would be a full bar, and then the bar goes
Yeah,
up or down
yeah,
depending
yeah,
on
yeah.
how many points you have. And that's
hmm
Hmm.
apparently not what they thought. And so
Astonishing.
yeah, absolutely wild.
Um.
Also, the host, I love Ruth. Um, I feel like I thought she did a decent job. But I think her with Mark and Melanie, it didn't like their chemistry on stage didn't translate well for me.
Mhm. That's fair.
I agree.
Yeah, I I think like this is definitely not the worst like
Oh no.
hosting that I've
No,
seen. Like I still get triggered and like flashbacks from Ukraine, like when Lord, when they had the three dudes. Lord, I forgot their names,
Oh yeah.
what's
and I was
2017?
yeah 2017,
Okay.
and I was just
And
cringing the entire time. And so for me, it wasn't as bad as that, but there definitely was a situation here in which like they weren't
that
meshing
was
as well as I
such a
wanted them
weird.
to.
That was such a weird. Yeah, because they had that one guy who does the commentary now, who wasn't even like one of the main hosts. They were just the green room hosts, and was like a Wikipedia file every time they needed someone to drop a random Eurovision fact. It was
Yeah,
weird.
but
Anyway,
whatever.
whatever. Um, can we talk about the stage? Because there's a lot of commentary online about
Just
how the stage really only catered to Spain. That seems to be the consensus online. I don't know if we agree.
it's
Or at least it
Yeah,
was built purpose made for the Spanish performance.
yeah. I also saw a lot of that commentary as well.
yeah, I saw that too.
and then everyone else just had to make do with it as
I,
best as
I
they could.
I think maybe they had it in mind. I think that like they could like Spain does a pretty good job at adapting any song to any stage most of the time. So I feel like it wouldn't have mattered whether they had this vertical screen or like a horizontal one. But I definitely think that since they knew that that's how the the stage was gonna look, that they were able to prepare a lot more than the rest of the countries. Because I definitely
Mhm.
think that this stage did not help a lot of the countries. Like
Yeah,
this
no.
stage was not helping France in any way, shape, or form. It was not
I
helping Ireland in any way, shape, or form
Yeah.
either. Like there were a lot of times where it was just like uh a screen that's filled with colors and like there was not much going on.
Mhm. I
And
think
so
that's sorry.
no,
Oh no, sorry, finish your thought actually.
no, I was just gonna say like very quickly, just finish it and say like I just think that they had a they had some ideas and they went with it, and so they were able to prepare for it. Like the Spaniards were able to prepare for the staging, knowing what the stage was gonna look like, unlike the other countries. That's it.
Hmm. I that I feel like that's probably why a lot of the performances had that like 360 camera, or like they had the camera kind of going around them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah,
Because I noticed that with a bunch of these performances, it's like there's a moment where the camera's at the back of the stage and you get to see the audience while they're performing.
mhm. Yeah. Now, speaking of cameras, I want to mention that we saw so many of the cameras like that we weren't supposed to see, like the hanging ones. Like
Yep.
I was not supposed to see those cameras. I was not supposed to see those, but I did see them, and it took me out of the fantasy. So I was a little upset by that. Uh, but it wasn't the most egregious thing. That's
No.
one of the smaller critiques that I have. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I wish this was the I wish this was the biggest critique I had about this Junior Eurovision, but unfortunately, it is not.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Also, okay, this is totally jumping off topic, but like also, is this stuff? It feels weird that the kids, the participants themselves didn't like sing the common song, like
Mm-hmm.
because every year there's this, at least from when I started watching anyway, there was always a song that all the kids would sing together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
but
think it
this
was
year
like
that didn't happen. It was just with Zoe, the winner last year, and Sandra, um the Spanish representative last year.
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
And then that was, I don't even know if that was the common song, but to me that's what it felt like.
Right, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it became so much of a tradition that it felt weird it not being there. For reference, Eduardo, I think it was last year or the year before they all got together to sing "We Are the World."
I'm
Yeah,
not
Oh,
surprised by
yeah.
that. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
yeah,
Of course they did. I
yeah.
wouldn't have been surprised if they sang "Imagine" this.
Imagine, yeah.
Like,
I
it's
mean,
Imagine it. They all come
so
together and imagine, and
no,
then
no,
like,
no, no,
and
wait,
then
wait,
on
wait.
the second chorus, fucking Angelina
No,
Mango comes out
no,
from the
because literally, quite literally, the common song in 2021 was called Imagine.
right, but it wasn't the Imagine.
It wasn't
Imagine.
the Imagine, but that would have been so funny.
It was Angelina Mango just comes out from like a pit
This
like
is
a trapdoor.
utterly surreal. I would have loved. I would have loved that. I would have been living. I would have
No,
had a better time.
like the backing track cuts out from the audience, and it's just someone next to her with a phone like speaker just playing Imagine on the. Oh wait,
Angelina
no.
Mango's version
Oh,
of
where's the
Imagine.
it's just like an acoustic? Anyway, we're going off track.
Uh, do we have any other critiques, or can we move on to the positives
Um,
here?
the perf- the interval performances.
Were you
I
not
hate
living?
for the one guy that did Maniac. I was,
Hmm.
I think, was my favorite, but like I think the other interval acts I couldn't quite get. Like the whole like the contemporary dance.
Hmm.
Um cuz obviously it was this like little girl with this big like dandelion ball.
Hmm.
And then I couldn't understand it. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm pretty sure I'm missing something. But
Yeah, maybe it's lost in translation. I don't know. Maybe they understood it more than we did.
I
probably
mean,
um,
I am actually gonna disagree here. I thought that the contemporary dance was really beautiful, and like I kind of, at least for me watching it, I was able to make up a story myself as to what
right.
was
mm,
going on personally. Like I don't know if that's the story that they were going for. But I was able to make up my own story with it. Like this fight of like this girl is holding on to like the only hope that we have left in the world, and everyone else is trying to destroy it, and then she tries to let it like let it go so that no one is able to have it. Like I'm just gonna let it go so that no one has it. Then everyone's like, oh damn, we needed that, hold on, go back and get it. And so they bring out the ladder so that she can go and get and like save the world or something like that. I don't know. I watch Dancing with the Stars, so I've seen a lot of
okay.
contemporary dances,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
so I know how they work and I know how they look, and I know when they don't work. And this one worked somewhat, at least for me. Most of the time, 90% of the time, a contemporary dance is gonna be weird, and it's not gonna be really easy to like understand the story that we're going for, and it's not super accessible. So I understand why we're having this different in opinions here,
Yeah. I'm not saying it was bad. It's just I couldn't like make a story out of it in a way.
and that's
And
fair.
that's
That's
probably on
fair.
my end. That's probably on my end.
I don't know. Maybe, as I said, I might just have an overly creative imagination. I am like a graphic
That
designer,
yeah.
an artist, and I studied theater and all of the things. So like maybe I'm just like have like an idea that like it's a little bit too out of the box and a little bit too crazy. I
But
don't
that
know.
I do think that is a good way of kind of um interpreting that number.
But
Hmm.
in the end, it is interpretive then. So it is
Yeah.
up to
Yeah,
your interpretation to
it's
make up what you think it is.
Right.
So
real. Um, I, I, are we move on to good points? Because there
yes.
was one big change from the dress rehearsals to the actual live show that
Yes.
I don't know. I'm are we all aware of this?
I am aware
Um,
of it. I don't know if Aneesa is
I
aware of it.
assume you're aware of it. If you pardon the pun. Um, Martin Ostador
Yeah.
was
Was
Yes.
just not
was
there.
the
Gone.
gone,
She
gone.
just said, I am hearing right now that yeah, the scores have been the votes have been counted and we're good to go. Yeah, I am hearing that right now. Yeah, absolutely. Not
So
prompted by the producers at all.
no, so what had happened was they did the Martin bit during the dress rehearsal. Shout out to Tim for capturing this, and
Mhm.
once again, just like in Malmö, everyone booed the hell out of him.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it down to embarrassment that he decided, yeah, we're cutting this bit from the
Yeah,
main
I
show.
think moving forward, that's what's gonna happen. Not only in Junior Eurovision, but maybe just in big Eurovision. I
My
think,
question is,
yeah.
if this is the change happening in Big Eurovision, that we're calling it Big Eurovision, I love it. Um, what happens if we can't communicate with a country? Because usually, if we can't communicate to a country, he's the one that announces the points. So I want to see what happens if that
Well,
can't
if
happen
It is
anymore.
it is possible
my
they could
thought
very
process, my thought process would be that the host would later be like, I have received the votes from the jury. I hear the jury right now in my right ear. Yes, I can hear them talking to me, like ancestors speaking
they're
to.
talking in the in ear.
Yeah, they're talking to me in the in ear. My ancestors are calling me, and I'm hearing the votes. So here are the votes from the Netherlands. And the 12 points from the Netherlands go to Georgia because everyone gave 12 points to Georgia.
Deservingly so. I think this is our is this our transition to the positives?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course it
yes,
is. I
absolutely.
think
Perfect.
we can just get it out of the way. Congratulations, Georgia, for
Congratulations.
winning Junior Eurovision.
Yeah,
I got it right.
Very well
you
deserved.
did
Very
call
well
it, Lewis. You
deserved.
did call it. No,
I
he did.
just want to say though, before we say this, I know we all gave points to Georgia here. I was talking to Logan before this, yesterday, and he told me that he was surprised that we had Georgia in our top three because he didn't like the song. So that's gonna be fun for him for whenever he listens to
I'm gutted. I'm gutted
Junior.
we lost Logan when we did because there were so many songs I wanted to find out what they thought of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and unfortunately we don't have him here either. But
I
I
know.
did want to send in this message because he hadn't listened to it, like he hadn't seen it, and he was telling me like, "Oh, I just didn't care for Georgia's song, like I didn't connect to it," and I was just sitting there like, "You're gonna have a wonderful time, Ben. You're gonna have a big surprise here." But no, genuinely, I am super happy that Georgia won.
Same.
Was it my winner? No, but I felt like the song, seeing it live, it really did something for me, and it was
Mhm.
really
Me
beautiful, and
too. Yeah.
it really it was really good. Adrian is a really great singer, and just it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and so I think this is very well deserved. And everyone stop sending him hate. You are adult. Shut up. He is a kid. Can we move on? Anyways,
It
very well
happens every
deserved.
year. It happens every
Yeah,
year, and I
it
hate it.
happens every year. I get it, but anyways, absolute
He
praises.
deserved it.
Absolute praises.
I think to me, his performance was closest to perfect, or if
Mhm.
anything, perfect. Like everything that needed to be done was done. He did what needed to be done.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Um, I think Georgia was my favorite in terms of utilizing the stage. Like the staging of it
The
is
staging
probably
was
my
cute.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
the stage was
stage.
good. I will not say it was my
I don't know
favorite.
if utilizing the stage. I mean like the actual physical what we're looking at visually.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I loved that. I think this is okay. Granted, I haven't been watching Junior for long. This is the first sad song that I've seen win Junior. Sad, quote unquote, song that I have seen win Junior. I don't know if Aneesa you can
Um,
name any.
I think the closest thing is probably Georgia's most recent win in 2016, Mzeo, which beautiful song. It's very much kind of the same vibe as To My Mom,
Uh-huh.
of this like very beautiful ballad, very emotionally conveyed. Um, I need to listen to this to I need to watch 2016,
Right.
but like that performance of Mzeo was amazing.
Mhm.
So really, Georgia's in their pocket if it's a ballad.
Nah, I wouldn't say that because they've also won with like some dance songs with a
Okay,
dance
so
like
Georgia's just
candy
in their
music.
When
pocket,
when Euro won, it wasn't like a dancier song, so or
right?
at least like I went and looked for it, and it seemed like a dancier song.
It was a
Right.
very like vibe.
This,
So
um,
It was
yeah,
also one of my favorites. I love candy music so much. Um, and
it's
then their very first win. So Andrea is now their fourth win, putting them
yes,
in the lead
they
of
are
most.
now the country with the most wins.
they are
Yes,
the Sweden of Junior.
yeah.
Yes,
I wish they were as good in big Eurovision as they are in junior
I
Eurovision.
know.
It's really like, God damn it, why can't you like
Okay,
just send the
but
kids? Send
but
the
granted,
kids.
granted, Nutsa was amazing. I
Oh
Yeah.
thought
yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
Nutsa
but
was
I'm just
amazing.
saying, like, I wish the success that Georgia has in junior Eurovision, they were able to have in big Eurovision. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
that would be incredible. But I also like, I think I want to transition into our other winner of the night, our televote winner, surprisingly. Let's talk about Victoria in Portugal, which we like most of us thought that was they were gonna win, but they didn't. But she won the televote, and I was surprised. I was
I
not
was
expecting
surprised because
Portugal
for
to
one thing,
win the
most
televote.
yeah, for one thing, usually songs like Victoria's don't win aren't like televote favorites.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
But
was really
I was very happy by it. But I was also surprised given the performance. I'm not saying it wasn't her best performance. It wasn't
yeah.
bad, but
Unfortunately,
it
she
wasn't her
did
best.
have those voice cracks when she was doing the high notes. I think she was just trying to push herself to do the whistle notes, and if she hadn't pushed herself to try to get those whistle notes, and she had just held the notes, I think it would have been a lot more successful. But
Hmm.
I'm not gonna blame her for it, for trying and for going there. And I still think it was a really beautiful performance, even then. Like, the
Yeah.
song is already beautiful in and of itself, and it's already powerful enough in and of itself. So it was still really good. And as I said, I was just surprised that Portugal won the televote, because I was not absolutely not expecting it. I was expecting something like Spain to win it, because I had heard that Spain was gonna like vote in mass for their own song,
Mhm.
and apparently they didn't. Apparently they didn't. If you would have told me before this that Malta was gonna get more televotes than Spain, I would have called you a liar.
Right.
But I'm also very happy for Malta. I They did a lot better than I was expecting, and I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
very pleased. I also love the moment where he had the snow in his nose and he was trying so hard to take it off. I was living. He was just like,
Um,
okay, now is the time for me to remove this part of snow from my face. Thank you.
I think this was the year where everything I thought of Junior last year in terms of, okay, my favorites are just not going to be replicated in a Junior audience. I was proven completely wrong. I don't know if that's just. I think I had that presumption based on what we thought of Malta last year and the way they
Mm,
underperformed in the vote last year, and I just put that down to, okay, it's just because it's a junior audience and they prefer something a lot more juniory. I don't know if there's a word for that. But no, I was completely proven wrong, and I'm glad.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I just love that the mature. Not saying any songs here are immature, but I feel like songs like Portugal's and songs like George's, I'd expect that kind of recording from someone who is competing for big Eurovision. So yeah, I'm glad to see those songs do well in both the jury and the televote. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And for the first time in like what, 5 years, France is not in the top three. Wild.
crazy.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah. Yeah, because I believe I don't remember. I'm gonna look up 2019 real quick, but the 2023, the last 4 years basically, they've won the jury.
Mhm. Well, for the first time, they were not in the top three. They were in the top five though.
They
So
were.
they're still like the ones to beat, apparently. Uh, well, them and Georgia, because Georgia has won four times now. So them and
Yes.
Georgia are the
Fran-
ones to beat now. Moving
Yeah,
forward.
yeah, because France has 3 wins as well. So
So yeah, they're also doing really well. I also do want to mention my favorite moment from the entire junior Eurovision, which was the most serene state of San Marino, and those four wonderful girls, that they were never in sync. Never once were they in sync. But you know what? I loved it. I was You could tell that three of them were having a wonderful time, and you know what? That was enough for me. That was enough for me. There was one of them which you could tell like she wasn't having the greatest time, which is really unfortunate. I hope that
Mhm.
it's just that her face was just reading as focused instead of like she was trying to get focused instead of like I am underwhelmed by the situation. Uh, but I truly hope that she was having a
It
wonderful
was
time.
just
I
like,
truly
okay,
truly hope so.
three
Yes.
more minutes of this shit. 3 more minutes and I'm done.
Yeah, because she I sent the picture on our Discord chat, and I think I can hopefully show it here. But she just felt like it looked like she was just done with it. It looked like she was just like this, like my girl, my girl really like looked just terrified. And
Mm.
I'm gonna
you
say
know what?
nerves. It was nerves.
Yeah, and you know what? That actually added to the performance for me. It was one of those things where like it felt like a bit. It felt like she was in on the joke a little bit, even if she wasn't. It felt like she was in on it and like she knew what was gonna happen, and so she was just like, "I'm just here," and I was living. She's one of
I
these girls that I feel like once she grows up, I feel like she would be like one of these iconic Twitter girlies that like would
oh
become
yes,
viral. And so I just loved her. I loved her. She was one of my favorite things that happened in the entire Junior Eurovision. Love her.
feel so bad for them though. They got 1 point from the jury
That
is
was
crazy.
really unfortunate. There was a moment where I was scared that they were just gonna get no votes, but it was
Yeah,
because the damn like leaderboard was so hard to read that for a while I thought that they had 0 points, and then when it finished, I was like, oh no, they have 1 point. You know what? That's good enough. That's good enough. They don't have zero
yeah,
points.
yeah.
Because like as I said, I thought that they had 0 points the entire time because as I said, I was like this the entire time. I
Mhm.
can't freaking see anything. So I was glad that they didn't get 0 points. But you know what? They tried something, and hopefully next year they come back and they learned. And I
Mhm.
just always am hoping for the best for San Marino. And sure, they got last here, but they didn't get 0 points. So I'm just happy that that's the case here.
Mhm. I also
I think they got
love
47.
46, I
47.
believe.
yeah, I think. Hold up. Yeah, they got 46 from the televote and then 1 for the jury.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
there we go. That's um yeah.
Oh, there
I'm
was a
almost 18.
moment with no, there was a moment I wanted to touch on. I love that a bunch of these kids are like every time they were in the green room or something, they're fighting to like show their flags and whatever.
Especially the boy from Poland. I
Yes,
forgot his name. He was like
Dominic. Yeah,
fighting his way. Like Dominic was fighting for his life there. He was trying so hard to
he
be
was fighting for his life
at the
against the one
front,
girl
but at
from
the
the
same
Netherlands,
time, you could tell that he didn't want to be in front of
the
uh
host.
the host. So he
Yeah,
was like, I don't know what to do in this situation, but I want to be in front. So I'm just going to stand here and try my best. I also really, now that you mention it, like the kids in the green room, I really adored seeing Nicole and Victoria get along so well in the
yes.
green room. Like I did not know that they like were friends because I don't follow these are children. I'm not going to follow them on social media. It feels weird. But apparently they're really like good and close friends, or apparently that's what it seems like, and I really really enjoyed seeing that. Like they were holding each other's flags and they were like hyping each other up. I
Yeah,
was
there was.
living.
I remember there was a moment like where like it was either like Ruth or Melanie speaking in the green room. You see them there, and they're just like, "Let's switch flags. Let's switch flags."
Mhm. Yeah, and Nicole is holding the Portugal flag and
It was
Victoria has the
oh
little
yeah, that one part hurt
Albanian
so
flag.
much.
Adorable. Also loved Albania's song, loved Albania's performance.
That performance was amazing. Yeah, great
And I'm
job,
so
Nicole.
glad they got top 10. I'm so happy they got top
That
10.
makes yeah, that made me really happy too. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's
Louis, do
like,
you have any
Oh,
thoughts?
oh no. What is it? I love that in the split screen we get between Georgia and Portugal. You see Nicole there too, just like sitting
Oh
beside
yeah, she was
Victoria.
oh.
there. Like she was part of the split screen. I was sitting
Yeah.
as well. Louis, do you have any thoughts?
Um, Nothing that's not been covered. I mean, again, there's elements of the production that felt off, but um, stellar lineup. Um, very happy with the winner. Um, when was the last time Georgia won?
2016.
So yeah, that
2016.
was way before I started. So I'm excited to see a junior in Georgia.
I'm also really
uh,
excited to see how Georgia hosts.
yeah, I mean they've done it a few times, so I trust
A
them.
couple times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to mention that I think it's funny that the actual top three was our top three as well, just in different placements.
Oh
Yeah.
We
yeah.
had the exact same top three. The only difference is that they had Georgia first, Portugal second, and Ukraine third, and we had Portugal first, Ukraine second, and Georgia third. So just move Georgia to number one and move everything down.
Oh,
Mhm.
speaking of Ukraine, Artem, amazing performance.
Incredible
Oh,
performance.
Incredible.
It
incredible.
just, but like I was already expecting it. Like it
Yeah.
was the same the caliber that I was expecting and the caliber that I would expect from big Eurovision. So I am hoping to see several of these kids hopefully come back and do big Eurovision at some point. Like I would love to see Victoria do big Eurovision once she's older. I would love to see Artem do
Oh,
big Eurovision once he's
oh yeah.
older. There's a lot of these kids that I just cannot wait to see what they do once they're grown. Like I cannot wait to see what like the boy from Italy, I forgot his name as well. I am so sorry.
Simone,
Simone
Simon. Yeah.
Simone. I can't wait to see what he does once he's grown and he's able to do like a more adult song.
Yeah.
I think he already
Oh,
has the
yeah.
voice to really pull off something, and so once he has like a very adult song, I
Mhm,
think he could really do something interesting. And I'm very excited
mhm.
to see him as well.
I really enjoyed his performance too.
Yeah, yeah,
I
he
Oh
was
yeah.
enjoyed the drama party a lot. Also, that was like my brother's like number two or so. Like my brother had that in his
fair,
top three.
fair. Like he was able to keep up with the choreo. Like there was not a lot
Mhm.
of choreo, but he was able to keep up with it. And most of the time, like the main singer doesn't have to do a lot of choreo, especially for like I would not expect any sort of choreo for Junior Eurovision, but we got a lot more choreo than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Uh, Mostly from Cyprus, which
Well, then
had the dance
again,
break.
in the song, in the actual recording of the song, it's kind of anticipated that there was going to be a dance break. So
Yeah, and it was like we've seen a lot of dance breaks in big Eurovision, so I it's difficult for me not to compare it to that because like
fair.
that's my only point of reference here. But I hopefully once she's grown and once if and when she chooses to come back to big Eurovision, she's able to do another uh dance break and she's able to not redeem herself but do something a lot bigger, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
uh I also really enjoyed when Malta finished their song. You could see his parents crying. Like
Hmm.
I like they were so proud of him and I was just so happy.
Hmm.
I was so happy. Okay. Any other thoughts that we want to
Yeah. Uh, Georgia. So Georgia winning.
Mhm.
Obviously they have to sing the song one last time. I think that is the best, like any, like in junior anyway, the best like someone has sounded after their victory.
I would even like compare it to like some like big Eurovision winners couldn't even do that. Like what he was able to do in a moment, like right after winning and getting hugged by everyone and just being
Yeah,
surrounded by people
my brother
screaming
and I,
at the top of
my
their
brother and
lungs.
I were watching. Yeah, my brother and I were watching it together. We were like, "Oh, he must have gotten it out real quick. He must have gotten all the emotions out real quick, or it just hasn't hit him yet." You know?
I think he probably got out all of the emotions once he was getting the 12 points that he got. I think that's when he was like, I'm probably
That makes
winning this. I am
Mhm.
yeah,
probably
that makes
winning
a lot.
this.
yeah,
And you know
I
what?
think
Well deserved. Anyways,
yeah,
Lewis, you were
exactly.
Really?
gonna say
No,
something.
I was gonna say it was a foregone conclusion before the 12 points were even handed out. Like,
Well, I
uh,
wouldn't really say that. I think once the
well,
12 points were given out, it was a done deal
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Yeah, good
because,
for
as we
him.
said, he broke the damn leaderboard.
He broke the damn leaderboard. Slay.
Any other thoughts?
No, I think hopefully the Georgian production team will pick up on all the notes that were made in every bit of commentary that's made online on the production standpoint of this year. Hopefully next year will look a lot cleaner um,
Yeah,
than this year, and hopefully they'll employ actual people to work on their graphical content and their postcard content
Mm-hmm.
rather than artificial intelligence. I don't know.
I hope
One
they.
can hope.
I hope this. I hope in next year they can like incorporate a bunch of like the Eurovision artists because I like Iru say because obviously she's done both junior and big Eurovision. I hope they bring back Bizukebi. I really want them to bring back Bizukebi. The
I've
first one is
actually like heard of people wanting them both to be the hosts of next Eurovision.
Bizukebi.
I saw a tweet asking for her and for
Help.
Iru, and I was like,
Oh,
I would
yeah,
not
it would be great.
be
Get
upset
them
for
to
Iru.
host and perform. Get them to host and perform in
Iru
the
hosting
interval.
and performing would be great.
Yeah, and Iru has even posted on her Instagram like, I am ready. If they ask me, I am ready and I'm doing it. So
I think
hopefully,
Iru would do an amazing job.
yeah, and also
Absolutely.
like for like a country that like their language is so different from English, Iru is a really like has really good English, and I think she would be really good at like doing all of, like the hosting situation here as well.
Agreed.
So I think she would do a really good job. Aneesa, any final thoughts? Because Luis has already given his final thoughts.
Um, I'm actually really excited for Georgia next year.
Mhm.
If it is in Georgia, if they say yes to hosting,
Hopefully
granted.
they do.
I swear to God.
But like at the same time, it's Georgia. I would not blame them if they didn't, because
So
they don't really have that much money. So I would not blame them if they chose to like hold on to that money and like put it into like big Eurovision and like ask Portugal to host it, which wouldn't be a bad thing. It would be a win-win situation here. Portugal hosts it and then Georgia still wins it. Anyways, whatever. Uh
slay.
any, any other thoughts, comments, concerns, anything?
No,
I say
congrats.
no thoughts.
Congrats,
Okay.
Georgia. Congrats. I forget his name. Andrea.
Yeah, congrats, Andrea. Very well done. Incredible. Like everything. As my first junior Eurovision, this was a pretty good Eurovision. I had my thoughts and I had my criticisms of it, but it seems like this was a very odd year for not only just junior Eurovision, but for Eurovision overall. And so
Absolutely.
hopefully next year we learn from our mistakes. We employ people that are able to help us with everything that's like the graphics and everything. And we learn what not to do from the mistakes that we made this year. And hopefully we get a lot more of this incredible young talent. As I said before, I am so excited to see what these kids do once they grow up and once they like if they choose to go to big Eurovision. I couldn't wait to see what they would do, what they would bring. Like as I said, Victoria going to Festival de Cansao, I think would be incredible, and I think she would absolutely kill it, even at
Hmm.
this age. So I'm just super excited to see what these kids do, and now that they have a platform, I am super happy for them, and hopefully they all enjoy their time here. And I know that we had some tough moments, especially Chloe in Spain, but everyone should be proud of what they did, and everyone should be super happy of how they did, even if they ended last, second, third. incredible performances all around. The kids were amazing. Production, not so much. Hopefully, we learn. But yeah, that seems like our overall final thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this and for listening to us ramble for almost an hour. Uh, I think we will be getting out of here. Yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As I said, tell us your thoughts. Get your cup merch down in the description below. Also, follow us. All of our things are going to be down there in the description. And with that being said, I think we're gonna get out of here. So let me get my fan. Let me get my fan. Cheers. Goodbye.
Bye.